Hi, today I'm going to start a series of videos, short videos, on the work of Milton Erickson and my insights about uh, his work. I've been kind of prodded into doing this in a wonderful way by my very good friend and mentor, Dr. Rob McNeely. He had seen me do an interview about talking about Erickson. He says, "Why don't you share more? And I want you to post it and to share little insights that you may have." So, okay, sure, we'll do that. Today, I wanted to talk about Dr. Erickson's amazing ability to turn therapy into an experience and the experiential aspect of how to help people change. As I mentioned, we'll try to keep this short. Erickson had this unique ability that I see is lacking, unfortunately, in a lot of therapists, to where he would use whatever situation presented itself to create a new experience for clients to gain access to cognitive patterns, behavioral patterns, emotional patterns that they either weren't accessing or were new to them, in a way to create profound change in their lives. Here's a quick story. Dr. Erickson one time was called by this woman whose daughter, younger daughter, had this way of thinking about her feet that kept her kind of in a really negative state. This young girl believed that her feet were just huge and she was embarrassed by her feet. And so it started having problems where she was starting to withdraw from her friends, wanting to go to school less and less. And even though no one else saw this problem of her feet being too large, she thought her feet were too large. So this mother called Erickson to say, "This is what's going on with my daughter." So rather than bring the daughter in and talk to her and try to spot her irrational beliefs or find out the dynamics of the family, Erickson said, "Okay, here's what we'll do. Next day or two, I want you to pretend that you're ill, and have your daughter rather call me. Call the doctor. Call Dr. Erickson. I'm ill. He makes house calls, and then I'll come out." And I'll pretend to take care of you, and this will give me time to work with your daughter without her knowing it. So the mother said, "Okay, sure." So a day or two later, she calls Dr. Erickson within earshot of her daughter. "Come see me. I'm feeling ill." And hangs up the phone and says, "Dr. Erickson, who's a medical doctor, is coming to see me. I'm not doing well. I may need you to help when he gets here." So Dr. Erickson arrived at the home and then came in with his blood pressure machine and his stethoscope and all of that, and begins to examine the mother. And then he asked the daughter, "Will you hold these things for me as I examine your mother?" And Erickson set up a situation where the girl was right behind him, and he stepped back intentionally without her knowing it and stepped on one of her feet. And she let out a yell. And Erickson just turned around rapidly, intensely, and looked at her and said, "Young lady, if you will grow those tiny little feet out where a man can see them, they won't get stepped on. So the rest of the time I'm here, will you keep those tiny feet so we're full view where I can see them so I don't step on them again?" And he turned right back around and finished examining mother and pretended to tell her whatever was wrong with her and that she'd be fine in a day or so. And he left. And the mother reported that next day the daughter went to school without a problem and the feet were never an issue again. To me, this is yet again showing that information is not the only thing we need to deliver in therapy. We need to deliver an experience at both conscious and unconscious levels that activates that emotional part of the brain as well. So if it's just we're merely going to be teachers giving Socratic questioning and all, which can be helpful, sometimes though that gets limiting. And Erickson realized that rather than discuss and try to argue and try to be clever in making someone believe something that down deep they're not going to believe, he felt it was good to have an experience. And with that experience, change happened rapidly. He never had to mention anything about her thoughts. He never had to mention anything about her past history. He just needed to give her an experience in that moment that gave her the resource she needed to change all on her own. So what do we take away from this? For me, it's how can we make our therapy sessions an experience that creates those conditions for change to occur. Hope you got something out of this. Great story from a great therapist. And I'll have more of these as we go along. Take care.